You know that person who just disappears? One day you're talking every day. The next day, it's like they never knew you. Messages left on read, numbers deleted, socials blocked, no explanation. From the outside, it looks cold. But inside, something very different is happening. If you're the type who quietly fades away, burns bridges, or cuts people off the second things feel wrong, stay. This video is about you. Today, we're breaking down the psychology of people who cut everyone off. Not just the toxic narrative you see online. The real reasons some people feel safer ending connections than fixing them. Let's start with this. Cutting people off is not always evil. Sometimes it's survival. For some people, ending contact is the only tool they've ever had to protect their peace. Psychologists talk about fight, flight, and freeze as responses to stress. Cutting someone off is like a mix of flight and freeze. You don't scream, you don't argue, you just vanish. So why do some people do this over and over? Reason number 1. Protection after being hurt. If you've been betrayed, lied to, cheated on, or constantly disrespected, your brain learns a simple rule. When people start acting like this, leave fast. So instead of giving endless chances, you watch for early red flags. A lie, a broken promise, a weird vibe, and once you see it, you're done. No second try, no long conversation. Just distance. On the outside, it looks harsh. Inside, it feels like self-respect. This is your nervous system saying, I know where this road goes. I'm not going back there. Reason number 2, fear of conflict. Some people don't cut others off because they're too strong. They do it because conflict feels terrifying. Maybe you grew up in a house where every disagreement turned into yelling, silent treatment, or emotional explosions. So now adult conflict doesn't feel like talk it out. It feels like danger. Psychologists call this conflict avoidance. Instead of saying, what you did hurt me, we need to talk about this. You quietly take the exit, stop replying, become busy, slowly vanish. It's not that you don't have feelings. It's that you don't know how to express them safely. So you do the only thing that feels safe. You leave. Reason number 3, all or nothing thinking. Some people see relationships in black and white. You're either loyal or a snake. You're either perfect or dead to me. Psychologists call this splitting or all or nothing thinking. If someone disappoints you once, your brain doesn't put it in the they made a mistake box. It puts it in the they're just like everyone else box. And once they're in that box, you can cut them off without looking back. This way of thinking often develops in people who grew up with unpredictable love, sometimes very close, sometimes very rejecting. To protect themselves, they learned, if you hurt me once, I'll erase you before you can do it again. Reason number 4, fear of real closeness. Here is the paradox. Some people who cut others off easily are actually scared of how much they care. Psychologists would link this to avoidant attachment in some cases. You might want love and connection, but once someone gets too close, starts to see the real you, your flaws, your fears, you feel exposed. So you pull away. You create distance. You might think things like, they're getting too attached. If they really knew me, they'd leave. It's better if I end this now. So you cut them off before they get the chance to reject you. It looks like you don't need anyone, but deep down, it's still about fear. Reason number 5, burnout from overgiving. There's another group. People who give too much for too long until they snap. You say yes when you want to say no. You listen to everyone's problems. You're the therapist friend, the helper, the one who's always there. But because you don't set small boundaries, one day you wake up completely empty. That's when a switch flips. You're done. You don't reduce contact. You don't ask for change. You just cut the cord. Psychologists sometimes call this emotional burnout or fawning, then fleeing. You people please until your system can't take it anymore, then you escape. So, is cutting people off always bad? Not necessarily. Sometimes cutting someone off is healthy when they're abusive or manipulative. They repeatedly disrespect your boundaries. They only show up when they need something. Every interaction leaves you anxious, drained, or unsafe. In those cases, distance is not cruelty, it's self-protection. But cutting people off becomes a problem when you never explain what's wrong. You end connections over small misunderstandings. You regret it later, but feel too proud or scared to come back. You feel lonelier and more isolated every year. Then it is not just about them anymore. It's about a pattern. So here's the uncomfortable question. Are you cutting people off to protect your peace or to avoid uncomfortable feelings? Do you walk away because they're truly harmful? Or because staying would force you to be vulnerable, to say, "You hurt me," to admit you care? One is a boundary, the other is a shield. Boundaries say, "I'll stay, but this behavior cannot." Cutting everyone off says, "I won't stay at all." If you're someone who has deleted whole friend groups, blocked exes without a word, or quietly disappeared from people who once meant a lot, you're not automatically a villain. You're probably someone who never learned safe ways to express anger, hurt, or fear. You protected yourself with the only tool you had, distance. But here's the good news. Patterns are not personality. They're just habits your nervous system picked up to survive. You can still learn to set boundaries before you explode, speak up before you disappear, and choose distance when it's needed without burning everything to the ground. If this feels uncomfortably accurate, you're exactly who this channel is for. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next videos on attachment styles, boundaries, and why we push away the people we actually want close. Tell me in the comments, are you the one who cuts people off first, or have you been on the other side of it? And if you've ever felt anxious in crowded places or drained after too much social noise, the next video will explain that in a way that finally makes sense. Click it. You'll understand yourself a lot more than you do now.